This nigga's scared.
For me, I had to disagree with you with far as feeling that he's not scared. He's scared.
You think he's scared?
He's scared.
So apparently it's $100 million fight.
Yeah, can you just clarify?
It's $100 million fight, right? Would you say so?
No.
To even take something that you ain't even worth, because he ain't worth $50 million. I'm sorry, he's not. He can't even make that in his own country.
Okay, but we're gathering that this is a $100 million fight. That's what they're saying. And they want 40% of that pot. So I said, okay, what's 60% of 100 million?
Okay, 60, yeah.
60 million?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take 50 million up front. If that's the case, Wilder's team, bring me 50 million up front and we'll take the fight.
What they wanted.
What did they want?
They said they wanted 50 mil, so I gave it to him. So soon we'll see the fight.
Are you serious?
He got to be a man of it. He got to be a man of his word. If he ain't a man of his word, then
Is it confirmed?
I just sent it. I just sent the email to him.
That's a
you know. So they should. I don't know what time it is in England. Maybe 8, something like that. So they should get it. You know. So we just sent it to him. He said he wanted 50 million. He'll fight. So he got to be a man of your word. So I'll see you soon, mate.
Where's this?
Did an interview, kind of tongue-in-cheek, saying that they said this fight's worth $100 million. Give me $50 million, I'll fight you. Probably the worst thing you should have done. And they come back and said, all right. So Deontay Wilder sent him an email and said, I will give you $50 million for this fight. So he said, that's unique, an offer from a fighter. You know, no disrespect to Deontay Wilder, he certainly doesn't have $50 million.
Kind of the Joshua and Wilder story continued. What's the deal regarding the offers being made from your side?
Offers are always made. That's how we are where we are. That's how boxing works. So we've had some great offers. We've had some great fights and entertaining ones. And it's put us in this position. So regarding Wilder, you know, he's interested in fighting like myself. It's a very lucrative offer. So I'm now hearing that, you know, they want 60-40 split. They're happy to take 40%, you know, and they're happy to give me 60%.
Just a couple questions regarding that. The $50 million offer, you kind of addressed it out there, how it was part of a much bigger interview and people are taking it out of context.
Okay, imagine like this interview now, you take a 30-second clip and you sum up the whole interview, and it's like, you can't do that. You can't just take a quote from an hour interview and say, oh, well, he said that and that's what it is. What about the part before and what about the part after? There's always two sides to a coin. So ultimately $50 million, I don't like to talk about finance, but it's a lot of money. It's a hell of a lot of money. So with that being said, I was just like, show me the money. But unfortunately that didn't come through, or show me the general offer. So with the money comes an offer. This is what you have to do for that 50 million. So
This nigga's scared.
For me, I had to disagree with you with far as feeling that he's not scared. He's scared.
You think he's scared?
He's scared.
You know, I'm looking forward to seeing this offer.
What Wilder said before that he's happy to accept whatever split as long as he got the return in the return fight, the same split in his favour.
That's a 50-50 fight then. So he's basically saying he wants 50-50. So he don't want 60-40. In my favour, he wants 50.
Well, that's what I did a phone interview with him.
No. I'm saying to
you.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah.
So I take 60% in the first fight, you take 40%.
Yeah.
Then in the second fight,
Correct.
you take 60%, I take 40%. So across the two fights, what does that make it?
Yeah.
50-50. So do you listen to what people say, or do you just listen to what people say? You have to really listen to what people say to make sense of it. So that's why I'm not the greatest talker.
Give me $50 million, I'll fight you. Probably the worst thing you should have done.
I'm probably a better thinker. So let people rabbit on. That's why God gave you one mouth and 2 ears. Do more listening than talking. Well,
give me $50 million, I'll fight you. Probably the worst thing you should have done.
So as I said, young pups will take this opportunity and fight me for free and all that stuff. I know people that would fight me for free, and I'm the same mindset. That's why I give away so much when it comes to fighting me, because I just want to fight. But people want big rewards, man, to find me right now. But they want bigger and bigger and bigger rewards as time goes on.
True champion. I can look at this and say, well, I'm going to take a small reward for a bigger reward in the future. I'll do so. If I'm talking about building my legacy, that where it's going to be played like Deontay Wilder did, everything possible to make this fight happen. He even took a flat fee, something that's never been done in history. Some people would say you a fool to take that. To say, oh, I'm chasing them because of... No, it's not because of money. You don't want to fight Deontay Wilder. Y'all talking about going to Klitschko, fighting Klitschko in Vegas in America. Talking about going to New York and fight a Gerald Miller in New York. But you can't fight the champion here in America. You can't... I'm going, oh, since you don't want to fight here, I'll go to your backyard and whip your ass.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
So let's start.
There's talk of you fighting in New York in August.
Yeah, definitely.
Against Miller.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. Miller, he'll take that fight with a heartbeat. I don't rate Miller, but I respect that. Do you know what I mean? I respect that. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Miller will take that fight with a heartbeat. He knows the reward, and he don't care about the risk. That's hunger. I like that.
True champion. I can look at this and say, well, I'm going to take a small reward for a bigger reward in the future. For me, I had to disagree with you with far as feeling that he's not scared. He's scared.
You think he's scared?
He's scared.
Hey, Miller will take that fight with a heartbeat. He knows the reward, and he don't care about the risk. That's hunger. I like that.
This nigga's scared.
Long term, so I hope it is Wilder, like everyone else, and I'm sure it will be because I don't see no reason why it wouldn't be. But moving forward, there'll be a lot more to come beyond Wilder as well. Like, people should realise that there's up and coming heavyweights. There's, for instance, Povetkin was fighting Vladimir Klitschko, the only man he lost to when I had turned pro. So he's been around at the top level for a long time. So he knows how to fight. So these are good challengers that want to come and fight me in a heartbeat for free because they want what I have. They're hungry. So there's going to be some challenging fights. But it's interesting.
So the bottom line is, what's the next step for you? When do you draw a line under this Wilder thing if you can't reach a deal or struggling to reach a deal?
We shouldn't be struggling to reach a deal.
No.
It's never personal. Never personal. It's business.
If you guys were in the same room together,
Yeah.
Obviously there's no tension, there's no, if you could just say one thing to him to make the fight a reality, what do you think you'd say?
I'll give him my pen and say sign the contract. It's true.
Is that?
Yeah, it's not. Listen, as I said, it's not difficult to make a fight. It's difficult to make a fight when you don't want to fight, but it's not difficult to make a fight when you really want to fight. So, as I said, I always said, I've dealt with champion when I first had a chance to fight for the title. I've dealt with world title challengers, and I've dealt with current champions. I've dealt with legendary champions, in terms of negotiating fights. I'm saying, not fighting, just negotiating fight. So why is this situation shouldn't be any more difficult? It's the same principle, same ring, same one referee, opponent in the other corner, 5 of your team members in each corner, and then a stadium and a broadcaster to show it to the world. It shouldn't be difficult. So that's why I say I'll just offer the pen and say, why don't you sign the contract? Because it has your name on it, maybe a different date and location, but it's very similar to the rest of the champions I've faced, and they were all happy. So why is it different with you? That's all.
He's the man at the top right now, and he gets to choose who he wants to fight. If he wanted to fight, or if he wants to fight, he can make it happen.
I promise you, if Anthony Joshua wanted this fight right now, if you said, I'm only going to fight you in Alabama and this is the price, if Joshua wanted to do that, he could fight you in Alabama.
Most definitely.
There's no...
This nigga's scared.
With Povetkin, what's the situation with Wilder? What's happening?
I think, do you know what it is? I've done enough talking, and I've shown, I've fought in world championship contenders, I've fought in undefeated world champions, I've fought people who have faced champions, I've fought You know, Dylan, who's fighting for a title, who's going to fight for titles, I fought everyone. There's no fear. I'm ready to step up and fight anyone. And we've worked with people, so whoever really wants to work and get this work, which is important because we've done a lot of this, I love it in the ring, man. That's where we're at. We're with Matchroom, we're with Sky. They know where we're at. They know the venues, and everyone's welcome to come over and have some fun with us.
You sound a little bit frustrated in terms of the Wilder fight. Is that fair?
It's not frustrated. It's just like I spoke about it. I said my piece.
It's never personal. Never personal. It's business.
This nigga's scared.
For me, I had to disagree with you with far as feeling that he's not scared. He's scared.
You think he's scared?
He's scared.
Nah, we still got like I'm still training, but in terms of like a 3-month camp, we've got until the end of the month. So there's still a few more weeks, and it's just the nitty gritty. I think everyone's seen what do they call it? The gold at the end of the rainbow, and everyone wants a piece now, and it's not a problem. There's enough in the pot for everyone to eat. But just be realistic, and that's all it is. And I said we've done so much of this. I just want to do this now. So that's why I'm in the gym training. I'm hungry.
Is it a little bit like being in limbo land?
No. There's so many fighters out there for me to fight. As I said, like 21 fights. My 16th one, I fought a champion. After that, I fought Brazil. Then I fought Melina, who's competed for a championship belt. Then I fought Klitschko, great champion. Then we fought Takam, who competed for a championship belt. Then I beat Parker, undefeated world champion. Then I fight Wilder, WBC champion. There's so many people out there for me to box, and I've been doing it back to back, so it's no problem. There's so many people out there. Then when I beat Wilder, the next question is, when are you going to fight Fury? So
the questions never stop.
The questions will never stop.
And they're not ever going to stop.
And I just keep on knocking them down one by one. You know, in my short career, I've boxed everyone, beaten everyone. You know, so imagine what we can do in the next 10 years. It'll be fruitful.
This nigga's scared.
I think there's multiple reasons. I mean, look, I think Wilder's done a great job of using Joshua's name to improve his profile.
They didn't want this fight. Even in his ring, you can
in the last couple of months. I don't blame him for that. It's worked, unquestionably.
Young pups will take this opportunity of fighting me for fun.
Don't blame him for that. It's worked, unquestionably. You know, you have a guy there who is one of, I mean, certainly in his position, I call him the lowest paid heavyweight world champion of all time. So you have a very, I say bitter person, but someone who looks at Anthony Joshua and thinks, how's this guy making 10 times what I'm making per fight? Yet he accuses us of being bad promoters, whatever. And you've got a guy who, in a small little pond like the UK, you know, 5 times smaller than minimum than the US, is making 10 times more money per fight than big old Deontay Wilder. When you get a fight of this magnitude, there's so many different elements that play into the negotiations. I think one of the problems is he has 3 managers. One is Al Heyman, doesn't have an email, very smart guy. One is Shirley Winkle, again, he's very, very old, and I have no problem with old people. My father is one of them. That's why I let him talk to him. And one is Jay Diaz, who's a trainer and long time.
The thing about lying is good when you have people to believe you, to listen and believe you. But the thing about it takes a lot of work. You have to always keep up a fresh lie over and over and over and over again. And when you have to keep up that lie, it's going to be times where you may say things at this point in time with this person. Then you're going to say something with this person. Then you're going to say something with this person. But the thing about it, the order that is formed, you're never saying the same thing. You're always contradicting yourself, manipulating here and there, compulsive lying here and there to keep it on.
Yeah.
Now, when you're telling the truth,
it's easy.
You're a free spirit then.
Yeah.
That's
manager of Deontay Wilder. So things have to go in this humongous circle of these 3 people who I don't think particularly like each other anyway, to try and make some progression. So we started off, and the sort of the chronology of this is quite straightforward, actually. We've been talking to these guys for 6, 7, 8 months about this fight, and we first made them an offer. And I don't like talking about money, but it's all out there now, so I don't have no problem saying it. For $12.5 million to fight Anthony Joshua in the UK.
The $50 million was only specifically for America.
Yes.
No, we're not going to cater to them with the money and, you know what I'm saying, go to your country.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, they wouldn't have still, even if we would have done that, it would have still been the same thing. Oh, we'll offer you 50 million and come to your country. Oh, no problem. They would have never took it.
I can see though.
Man, 50 million up front, that's the minimum that he would have made with a 50% of revenue, 50% split. How can you turn that down?
Fight with Povetkin plays out.
I really don't even care, bro.
No.
I hope Povetkin knock him out. He was.
Don't you want to be the guy to do that though?
I did. I had the opportunity. But obviously he don't want to be the guy to prove himself with me. 50-50 straight across. I'm not accepting no flat fees.
Yeah.
No, none of that.
Yeah.
We done with that. And I can smile and say, we done with that, bro. We done with that. That plans was never to fight me. It was only to promote Joshua. It was only to really try to make it seem like something that it wasn't. They don't have no type of aggression, no type of passion in their voice. Just like when I speak, because I wanted this for these people. They're not passionate about it. They didn't want it. When somebody passionate, and when they really want to do something, and when somebody gonna really make something happen, you can see it. You can tell. It's nothing that's not gonna be obvious. You can tell it.
Now, we always appreciated that there's more money for this fight in the US. But I feel that with what Joshua has done in the UK, with what the fans have done in terms of supporting him, and the history and the legacy that this fight can create, this is where we wanted to do it, in the UK. So we offered them $12.5 million. Probably represented about 30% of the pot, I would say. They didn't turn it down, they didn't respond. Okay. So we came back and we said, I was actually in New York. I said, I'm very interested. Can we meet to discuss? This was to Shelley. And Shelley said, you have to accept the fight first. I said, well, we're interested. That should be enough for you. But I need to know a lot more about this offer. I can't commit someone like Anthony Joshua to an offer like this without knowing the details. We feel a meeting would be non-productive, this is what he said, and you need to accept the offer first. So I thought, that's bizarre. How can you not want to talk about an offer of $50 million? So I spoke to Anthony about it, and we all agreed, this is of interest. We'd like to see the contract. So I went back to them and said, we'd like to see the contract. Now, there's this big thing about proof of funds. Now, and of course, I would have asked for proof of funds if we would have even got that far. People say they provided proof of funds. It's absolute bullshit. They didn't provide anything, not even a contract. So they answered a couple of questions. It would be in the US.
I can see though.
Man, 50 million up front, that's the minimum that he would have made with a 50% of revenue, 50% split. How can you turn that down? And that was one of the things that was so bothersome for me.
I'm sad now.
To look at him as a fighter, to be in a position, to be in a position.
You need to take into consideration, if they wanted this fight so bad, why did they wait 2 weeks nearly to come back with any comments? Yet they already knew them, apparently. And the other factual point, which is so important, is this contract is still live. Nothing's changed. This is the deal that you accept, top 10 of the Ring Magazine rankings. You cannot ever question Anthony Joshua's desire to fight the best. Look at the resumes. The resumes don't lie. Look at the resumes. The resumes don't lie. So whether you think I'm lying, whether you think Shirley's lying, whether you think Wilder's lying, whether you think Joshua's blown, look at the facts, look at the proof. Joshua steps up and fights the best time and time again. Wilder does not.
There's my sources, son.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what I'm talking
man.
about. Because you don't want just his narrative. You just don't want the promoter's narrative.
Correct.
This nigga's scared.
For me, I had to disagree with you with far as feeling that he's not scared. He's scared.
You think he's scared?
He's scared.